Hey guys, it's Steven. Before the video gets underway, this is my Social Blade page. The channel's currently at 759 or 760-ish subscribers, and they're projecting that we're going to hit 1,000 49 days from now. Now, you guys have absolutely been killing it lately. I know you guys can beat this Social Blade projection here, so help me beat this Social Blade projection here. Let's get to 1,000 way faster than in 49 days. I know you guys are capable of it, and hopefully you enjoy this video. And if you're new here, say hello down in the comment section because I do try to respond to everyone. Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Steven Brown, and in today's video, it's the series where I don't provide the content, and some of you guys are going to be providing the content today, but hopefully not. Hopefully it's good content. Reviewing Armchair GMs on Capfriendly. So a lot of the ones that were submitted previously were before Mikko Lehtonen was signed, and I don't want to just be sitting there saying, yeah, but Mikko Lehtonen could have been factored into the situation here. Mikko Lehtonen could have been factored in here. So I'm not going to touch a lot of the ones that you guys submitted. Sorry, I didn't do this video a little bit sooner or before that signing, but if you guys would like to resubmit, or if you're new here, if you'd like to submit an Armchair GM on Capfriendly for me to review, then I would love if you did that. All you have to do is come on over here to capfriendly.com, create yourself an account, go over to Interactive, select the Armchair GM, and then create a team. Select the team that you wanted to do, whether it's the Toronto Maple Leafs or even a different team that you wanted me to review of yours. Change the season, put the name of your team in there, set the salary cap, which should be $81.5 million for next season. Nothing official yet, but we'll talk about it more in this video today. And then send the link to it published. Make sure that it's published. That's why you need to create the account, because you can't publish it without creating an account first. And leave the link to it in this video, or else I won't be able to find it. All right, so first up, we have Richard1972 here. Richard, you've been a subscriber for a while now. You always comment on the videos. Thank you for your continued support. And I really like what you did here in this Armchair GM, and we're going to have a deeper conversation about it because you've come a long way from wanting to possibly use a potential compliance buyout on John Tavares to putting this Armchair GM together, which is very reasonable. And because I really like this, I'm going to be very nitpicking with it. And the only thing that I'm seeing with the RFAs is that Mikheyev on a 2-year deal for $1.8 million is probably not going to happen. That's probably better on a 1-year deal, more realistic there. But other than that, great work with the RFAs. Alex Galchenyuk is an interesting one because he's a candidate to have a bounce-back season, but he is horrendous at defense, and that is not something that we really need on the Maple Leafs, but maybe in a very sheltered role on another team, he can serve a really good purpose. Probably stays with the Minnesota Wild. Kyle Clifford, Dylan DeMello, no problems with those signings at all. Maybe DeMello cost you $250,000 more at $3.25 million, and I would budget for that, but the first trade that you made here is Lucas Wallmark coming to the Toronto Maple Leafs from the Florida Panthers, who are very cash-strapped in terms of cap space and actual dollars, like we've talked about in a previous video. I will link it above the screen, even though I made a mistake at the beginning in what it would actually cost the Maple Leafs to do this. It was going to cost them like double the amount to do it. I thought it was a very interesting video nonetheless, but Kerfoot in a second-round pick for Lucas Wallmark. Lucas Wallmark, he's like 24 years old. He's a good skating forward. He's probably better suited on the fourth line, but can probably play on that third line. I don't necessarily know if he's as good as Kerfoot overall. I mean, I think that Kerfoot has more to offer. I think that this season isn't a true reflection of what he was, especially after getting hit by Jeff Carter and breaking his jaw, and he was eating through a feeding tube for like a week or so. I think a lot of people would have problems coming back and playing professional sports after not being able to eat, basically, for an entire week. Before that, he was on pace for his normal 40-ish points, so I don't know if I'm so quick to just trade him, but I can see why you'd like Lucas Wallmark. He'd probably be about $1 million cheaper than Alexander Kerfoot, so you have to take that into account. And the second round pick, I mean, whatever. If that's what gets that deal done, that's what gets that deal done. Now, this next trade that you made with the St. Louis Blues is very interesting. Morgan Rielly and Timothy Liljegren for Colton Parayko and Jake Allen. Now, before everyone jumps on Richard here, I actually think that this trade is a lot more fair than what people are going to give it credit for. And that is Colton Parayko and Jake Allen to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Morgan Rielly and Timothy Liljegren. Now, before people jump on Richard here, I think it's very easy that whenever the St. Louis Blues comes to town, we always hear about how great Colton Parayko and how great Alex Pietrangelo are, and we always hear about the deficiencies and faults of Morgan Rielly and the Toronto Blue Line. So it's easy to see one get propped up and the other put down and kind of not really understand their value. So if we come on over to Evolving Hockey or Evolving Wild on Twitter, the last 3 seasons, so from the 17-18 season to the 19-20 season, almost dead even for these two players in terms of advanced analytics. Morgan Rielly providing a lot more offense, Colton Parayko providing a lot more defense, but Parayko still providing that power play. And if we're taking a look at their contracts, Morgan Rielly for 2 more years at $5 million. And then if we come over to the St. Louis Blues here, Colton Parayko for 2 more years and $5.5 million. Colton Parayko being 27 years old, Morgan Rielly being 26 years old. The Leafs having virtually no one on the right side. The Blues having Alex Pietrangelo, Colton Parayko, and Justin Falk on that right side. Hopefully they get Alex Pietrangelo signed. I'm pretty sure that they will, but that's a very expensive right side. And when you're looking at their left shot options here, Marco Scandella, Carl Gunnarsson, Vince Dunn, who will also need a new contract, not as flashy as that right side. So they could definitely use someone that shoots left to log a bunch of minutes for them, and Morgan Rielly could be that guy. Richard, I think what you have here is a hockey trade, right? A trade of circumstance. One team needing one thing and another team needing another. Now, with the buyout that you suggested for Jake Allen, that would be compliance buyouts that you're talking about. So the Toronto Maple Leafs would take on Jake Allen, and then they would use a compliance buyout to buy him out, and then the St. Louis Blues would have some more money to put towards Alex Pietrangelo and still have a compliance buyout of their own, which they can use on some forwards or a defenseman that I mentioned in the video where I talked about if the Maple Leafs or the Blues could even afford Alex Pietrangelo, and I took an in-depth look at both of their salary cap situations for this year and years to come. They could use that compliance buyout on Alexander Steen, which would be unfortunate, but you could kind of understand at his age and his situation. You could use that on Oskar Sundqvist, who is 26 years old, didn't really produce a lot for them this season, making a nice little chunk of change there that you could save. Or you could use it on a Justin Falk, but that would cost you a lot of money in real dollars because there are 7 years left on this contract. Couple of different options that the St. Louis Blues could explore, having their own compliance buyout on top of getting rid of Jake Allen. And I mean, when you take a look, Jordan Binnington is the number 1 clear-cut starter there, but Jake Allen had himself a decent little season this year with the St. Louis Blues. If the Maple Leafs were to buy out Jake Allen, they would not be able to re-sign him, and neither would St. Louis. That would be deemed cap circumvention, and you can trade players from other teams and use a compliance buyout on them immediately. That is not against the rules. But then again, we're not 100% certain that we're even going to be getting compliance buyouts. The reason why I keep pushing them is because the last time they were awarded, it was because the salary cap did not meet its initial projection because of the lockout, and that's what's happening this time again. Teams were awarded one to be used before the 13-14 season to be cap compliant, and teams were awarded one after the 13-14 season, and I don't see how that's not the case this time around with what's going on in the world right now. I mean, if we take a look at the final column here, you can't just screw all of those teams that were already within $1 million of the salary cap at $81.5 million. There's no way that it's going down. And also, there was another suggestion where it could go up to $82.5 million and then freeze there for a couple of seasons. I also, after speaking to people that are much smarter than me about it, I don't see that happening as well because there is so much money to be paid back in escrow that I don't see it happening. But the NHLPA is not going to screw its own players by saying, hey, the cap has to go down, because the NHLPA and the NHL set the salary cap at the end of the day. No matter what their financial situation is, they have a final say at what that number is. And the NHLPA is not going to screw its own players. The union is not going to screw the players, and the actual NHL itself is not going to screw themselves, right? They're not going to screw over the general managers. So just really quickly here, just scrolling through this, I thought this one was funny. I'm here to be yelled at by Jaw1722. If you guys are ready to do some yelling here, we'll do some yelling here. Travis Dermott re-signing cheap fourth line center. Okay. Ryan Ellis and Victor Arvidsson coming to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Mitchell Marner and Timothy Liljegren. All right. How do we feel about that trade? Let me know down in the comment section, because it kind of speaks to a video that I want to make after this one. Do the Maple Leafs consider trading one of the big four this offseason or in the future? Is it a good idea for the team? Wanted to leave you guys with that thought because I want to know your thoughts and your opinions and what's going on in your heads. But this is an absolute crazy trade. I don't think that you get Ryan Ellis and Victor Arvidsson for Mitch Marner, because I think if the Leafs had that available to them, they would have done that deal yesterday. So like I said, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on the Colton Parayko for Morgan Rielly trade. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on trading one of the core four guys, and which one would it be down in the comment section. Let me know and I will do that absolute gong show of a video, because I know that that video is going to get a lot of hate and whatnot. So comment big four in the comment section if you want that video as early as tomorrow. I will just upload it and do it. It's gonna be a mess. I'm not looking forward to it too much, but if you want that video, like I said, comment big four down in the comment section so that I know that you guys made it this far into the video and that you guys enjoyed what you're seeing here. And also make sure to subscribe. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we are trying to beat Social Blade's projection on 1K subs here, and make sure to leave me a like here because it really does help out. And I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will talk to you again very soon, hopefully.